Alright, welcome to the 7th video on factoring. This time we're going to factor a trinomial, and it's not going to be a perfect square trinomial. We're going to use trial and error method. The previous video I did, we used the AC method. So let's look at an example. Okay, so we know this is not a perfect square trinomial, so we're going to put and the trial and error is just what it says. We're going to just try some values and see if they work. So let's come down here for our practice. Now what we want to do is we want to see what all can we multiply to get the first term. Well, we can see that's 2x times x. So that's really not an issue there. That's the only thing we can use, 2x and x. But what all can we multiply to get -3? Well, that's going to be -1 times 3 and 1 times -3. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug these in. So let's just plug in, I don't know, let's try +3 and -1. Well, what we have to do then is we have to see if it works. So 3 times x is 3x. 2x times -1 is -2x. When I add them, I get x. And you can see that's not the middle term. That's not 5x. So this one isn't going to work. So let's try another combination. Well, 2x and x, that's all we can use. So this time, let's try maybe +3. I'll tell you what, let's try -3 and +1. So we can see that we multiply the inside is x, multiply the outside, that's -6x, and when we add we get -5x. Well, we're close, but with the signs wrong. We need a +5x. So we don't want to use that. So let's try using the 1 and the 3 like we did before, but let's switch the signs to plus and minus. So now when we multiply the inside terms, that's -x. Multiply the outside terms, that's +6x. When we add them, we get 5x, and that's our middle term. So our final answer is 2x minus 1 times x plus 3. Okay? And this method is exactly what it says it is. It's trial and error. You've just got to try something until you find what works. Alright, let's take a look at this one. What can I multiply to get 15? Well, that's going to be 1 times 15, 3 times 5. And what about +6? Well, that's 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. And also remember that to multiply to get +6, we can also do -1 times -6 and -2 times -3. And also over here we can do -1 times -15 and -3 times -5. But for the first term, the leading term, the 15x squared, you don't really want to you don't want to use this. You don't want to use the negatives because we don't like to have negatives out in front. So let's look and see what we can use to get a minus 19x in the middle. Well, I'm going to use my two sets of parentheses down here. So I could try x and 15x, but I don't think that's going to work. So let's try 3x and 5x. And then I need to pick something over here. Now I know I'm not going to use the positive 1 and the positive 6, or the positive 2 and the positive 3, because if I do that, okay, if I do that, well, let's just put in a 3 and a 2 and use the positive. Okay, well, that's going to give me what? 10x, and this is going to give me 9x. Well, that's going to give me 19x, but it's positive and I need a negative. So I'm going to, instead of using the plus 2 and plus 3, well, I can see that that's going to be 3x minus 2 times 5x minus 3. So I can check that. That's minus 10x, and this is minus 9x, and that's going to give me negative 19x, which is my middle term. So there's my final answer. I get 3x minus 2 times 5x minus 3. Okay. And this trial and error method, the only way you're going to get good at this is by practicing. You're going to have to determine the factors. You're going to have to determine the factors of the first term, the factors you can multiply to get the second term, and you're just going to have to plug them in, fold it back out, and see what gives you the middle term. And the trial and error method does take practice. I hope this video helped. I hope you'll watch my next video. It'll be the last one. We'll be talking about factoring the sum and difference of two cubes. Thank you.